Hi and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to take a look at Dashboard 2. You may realize that Dashboard 1 now has officially been declared as end of life, and although it is currently supported in Node-RED, it may not be supported in future releases of Node-RED. So really, going forward, you should be developing new flows in Dashboard 2. But what do you do with old flows that are actually created with Dashboard 1? And we'll talk about that later in the video. First of all, let's take a quick look at Dashboard 2. Now, like Dashboard 1, it is an add-on. It's not part of the core node, so you need to go to the Manage Palette and you need to install it. And there it is there. It's actually Flowfuse. Flowfuse is the organization behind Node-RED, and you need to install it here. This was no different from Dashboard 1. You needed to install Dashboard 1 as well. Now, the good news is you can actually install Dashboard 2 as well as Dashboard 1, so you can have both dashboards existing, and they'll be down here in the menu. So here there's Dashboard 1 and there's Dashboard 2. So what I have here is two flows. These were originally developed in Dashboard 1, and what I did to learn a bit more about Dashboard 2 is I actually moved them over to Dashboard 2. Now, these flows are quite trivial because they've only got a couple of dashboard nodes, and so it's quite easy to actually replace the old dashboard node with a new dashboard node. If you've got a flow with hundreds of dashboard nodes, it's a totally different case. And we'll talk about that a bit later on in the video. So here is the old Dashboard 1 node, and here is the new Dashboard 2 node. Let me show you the flow first. So this is how it appears in Dashboard 1. You can see everything is under the UI, user interface, and Dashboard 1 works with tabs. So it works with tabs and groups, and these are the groups here, status, and this is the tab here, broker status, and we've got another tab here, analyze. Now, in the Dashboard 1 example, I only included the status, the broker status. In Dashboard 2, I also include a graph, so we can see the chart node. Now, the reason I chose these flows to illustrate Dashboard 1 and Dashboard 2 is because the template node is very different in Dashboard 2 than it was in Dashboard 1, because they use totally different frameworks in Dashboard 2 than they do in Dashboard 1. You remember Dashboard 1 used Angular, and Dashboard 2 uses Vue.js, if I pronounce that correctly, I don't know. Okay, but we're not going to go into the detail of that. So let's have a quick look at the template node in Dashboard 1. And you can see here I'm using the ng repeat to loop through the brokers. We've got multiple brokers. And in Dashboard 2, I'm using a different thing called here v4. Now this is actually covered on the site, in the tutorial on the site, which I'll link below, so I won't go into more detail than that. There is a difference in the actual loop, and there is a difference in this thing here where I fill the icon, either red, green, or yellow. But these flows will be available, so you can actually download them and you can look at them. And this is the graph or the chart node, very similar to Dashboard 1. So nothing really to say about that. Now, Dashboard 1 used the UI and it used tabs. Now Dashboard 2 actually used page names, different page names, and it all goes under the root of dashboard. So instead of UI, it's called dashboard, and we have different page names here, except instead of different tab names. We still have the menu over here, just like we did over in here. Dashboard 2 has a better look to it than Dashboard 1, I feel. So a lot of people would be keen to move over to Dashboard 2 for that reason. So our chart node here is in a group called Broker Status Monitor, and now the monitor is the actual group on the on the site here, on the page here, and you can see the actual broker delays and everything here is under a thing called status. So we've got a group called status and a group called monitor, and it's on a page called status. So we have a status page that contains two groups, status and monitor. So if we look on here to configure this, we just click on here to edit it, and we have to edit it again. Sorry, before I edit again, there is the name of the group as it appears on the page itself. Now to change the page, we edit it again, and we can see here we got the main UI, which is the dashboard. Now it looks like you can add another one here. You can't, not currently. You should be able to do in the future, so don't add one here, it doesn't work, and it actually does break it a little bit, so you have to remove it before it works properly again. But this is the path name, which is the status. This is the actual page name itself. Now it defaults to page 1, page 2, page 3, but you should give it meaningful names, just like you did with dashboard 1. You gave the tabs meaningful names. Here you give the pages meaningful names, and we call it status. And this is also what appears in the menu, which you can see here. Broker status, analyze. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that is what appears in the menu. That one there. So that's the name that appears in the menu, and that is the actual page name itself. And let me go to the other one. So if we go to this one here, now I realized as I was doing this video that I've actually given them very bad names appearing in the menu here. This one's called monitor, so it's called mon. This is the name that appears here in the admin view. It doesn't appear actually on the dashboard when you view it. And again, I've given that one a very bad name, and that's the name here. Okay, but aside from that, let's go back to it. So this is the group here is this group here. It's status, and the menu entry here is broker status, and it's on the same page as this one here. So they're all on the same page. The only difference is the name of the group here. And you can see that here, again, I should have named that differently. So let's edit this one here, and we give it the name status, that being the name that appears here. And to change the page, we go down here, and again it appears under the dashboard, and it appears under the menu item broker status. Both of them appear on the same under the same menu item. Okay, it does take a bit of getting used to going back to dashboard 2, but with a bit of practice you'll get there. Now if I look at the other one, the analyze flows, now the reason I chose this one is because it's very common to feed a dashboard UI template with a template node, and the template node does all the processing work, and it just passes the message payload into the actual UI node. So how do you display that? Well, in dashboard 1 you just had a simple entry. This is basically the default entry, and that's all it was there. Entry bind HTML to the message.payload, and that was it. So none of the work is done in the template node. You might do a bit of styling, which I've done here, but other than that nothing is done there. It's all done in this one here. Now for dashboard 2, very similar, but here you do it in the template, and you do it with the vhtml message.payload. Now as I say, this is actually covered in the tutorial on the site, and as I say, I'll put a link in the description below. There we have it, a quick overview of dashboard 2 and how you actually use the template node in dashboard 2 in the two most common scenarios, which is basically doing the work in the actual template node itself or doing the work in a preceding template node. Those are the most two common scenarios you'll come across with the template node. Let's talk now about moving to dashboard 2. Now, as I said before, these are quite trivial examples. Now, to move to dashboard 2 here, I just delete the old template node, and I'm done, and put a new template node in, and that's it. Just very, very easy process. And again, with this one here, a very easy process. Now, if you've got a flow or a workspace with hundreds of dashboard nodes, it's a totally different ball game. Now, the first thing you really need to do is to find out whether your actual node is covered in dashboard 2. Most of the common ones have been migrated to dashboard 2, but not all of them. Not only that, you might find that they don't actually work exactly the same in dashboard 2 as they did in dashboard 1. So you need to check the functionality and make sure the functionality is the same. Now, one thing you will come across is the fact that dashboard 2 only supports material design icons, whereas dashboard 1 supporting awesome font as well as material design. So if you've been using awesome font in your dashboard 1 nodes, then it's not such a easy matter to go to dashboard 2. Not only that, if you've got hundreds of nodes, then it basically means deleting the old ones and replacing them with the new ones, which is a very tedious process. So not only do you have to make sure that they do work the same, that you also have to delete them individually and add the new ones individually. Currently, I'm not aware of any migration tools that allow you to do that in bulk. So the way I'm working with this at the moment is all new flows that I do now will be done with dashboard 2. All flows, trivial flows like the ones I've just showed you, I probably will upgrade to dashboard 2 because it only involves adding or deleting a few dashboard nodes. The ones with lots of dashboard nodes I am currently leaving as they are, and I may migrate them to dashboard 2 if the tools exist in the future to make that an easy process. Now, if you decide to follow suit and you actually want to leave the old flows on dashboard 1, then you really need to be aware of any upgrades. So you may find that upgrading to a new version of Node-RED, I'm running, I think, Node-RED version 4 here. Yeah, version 4. And this supports the dashboard 1 node, so there's no problem. But future upgrades might break it. So I would advise, if you are going to stick with your old nodes on dashboard 1, then you freeze Node-RED at its current status. If you do want to upgrade Node-RED and you've still got dashboard 1 nodes, make sure you test them before you actually do upgrade Node-RED in case you do break them. Okay, that's all I've really got to say on this. As I say, my present plan is all new flows go to dashboard 2, old flows stay basically as they are, and I may upgrade them or migrate them in future when the tools exist. Trivial old flows, I may or I will migrate them as necessary. Okay, so that's the end of the video, and if you like the video, then click on the like button. If you've got comments, then please leave the comments below. And if you want to get notified of new videos on the channel, then please subscribe and click on the notification bell. Until next time, goodbye.